Welcome back, class 8 students. I am your English grammar digital mentor and I am here with a new chapter, which is chapter number 7 of your English grammar book, verbs. Now here let's start with the starter part. In that we are given two pictures and we have to see these pictures and fill the verbs in the blanks in suitable form. Let's start with the first one. Here the sentence is Meena is dash to school. We have to fill the sentence using the word go. So we can say Meena is going to school. Similarly, in second sentence, a picture of Rakesh Sharma is given and it is written Rakesh Sharma dash to the space on April 3, 1984. Here also we have to use the word go and fill in the sentence. So here we can write went. So our sentence will be Rakesh Sharma went to the space on April 3, 1984. So here going and went are types of verbs. Let's study more about verbs. So for that, let's start with part number A, that is with the definition of verbs. A verb is a word that expresses an action or what a person or thing possesses. For example, I go to school every day. We do our homework. A verb in a sentence may consist of one word, two words or more than two words. For example, Virat plays nice shots. In this sentence, verb consists of one word. Second example is, we have done our homework. In this sentence, verb consists of two words. Now let's see different kinds of verbs. Verbs are of two kinds. One is transitive and second one is intransitive. First, transitive verbs. Verbs that requires an object to complete their meaning fully are called transitive verbs. For example, Nisha has eaten an apple. Simran drew a picture. In the above sentences, the highlighted verbs are all transitive verbs, whereas intransitive verbs are those verbs that do not require an object to convey their meaning are called intransitive verbs. For example, Neha ate, Shivam ran. Some verbs can be used both as transitive and intransitive. For example, Rohini ran slowly. Here in this sentence, ran is intransitive, whereas Rohini ran a race. In this sentence, ran is transitive. Now, using these concepts, we have to underline the verbs in the following sentences and write whether they are transitive or intransitive. Let's start with the first part. Megha sang a song. So here the sentence is complete. We know what Megha is singing. So sang is the word. So we will underline sang and it is transitive. Similarly, in next part, father laughed. Laughed is the verb. So we will underline laughed. And since the sentence is not complete, so in this sentence, it is intransitive verb. Now our next topic is direct and indirect objects. Direct objects. In a sentence, the direct object of a verb receives the action of the verb. Ask who or whom or what after the verb in order to identify the direct object in a sentence. For example, Nupur sang a song. So here, if we ask a question, sang what? So she sang a song. In the second example, I met my friend in the park. Met whom? My friend. So these types of sentences are example of direct object. Now let's see indirect object. An indirect object answers the question of to whom, or for what. For example, father gifted me a video game. So here it answers a question, gift a video game to whom? Me. Similarly, in the second sentence, Rohit sent his teacher an email. Sent an email to whom? To his teacher. So these types of sentences are example of indirect. Sometimes verbs are followed by two objects. The first object, the indirect object, is usually a person or a group of people. And the second object, that is a direct object, is usually a thing. Such sentences have this structure. So in these types of sentences, first we write subject, then verb, then indirect object, then direct object. For example, father bought me a bicycle. Sometimes the indirect object comes after to or for. Such sentences have this structure. First we write subject, verb, direct object, preposition, and then indirect object. For example, father bought me a bicycle. Now here we have to underline the object in the following sentences and write whether they are direct object or indirect object. First one is she wrote the poem. So here we can ask a question. She wrote what? So she wrote the poem. This is a type of direct object in which we had to underline the object also. So in this the object is the poem and it is a type of direct object. Next part is I sent her an email. So here we can ask the question, I sent her what? An email. So an email will be the object and this is an example of indirect object. Now let's move on to the next part, which is part number F, linking verb. Read the following sentences. First sentence is Rahul is my classmate. Second is it became very cold. The highlighted words in the above sentences are all verbs, but these verbs do not describe an action. These verbs show a condition or state. These verbs cannot convey their meaning fully without appropriate words or phrases to complete the predicate. Such verbs are called linking verbs. The most common linking verb is the verb be in its different forms like am, is, are, was, and were. Other frequently used linking verbs are become, seem, appear, feel, smell, taste, etc. For example, it seems a good idea. She feels tiredness. Now, using these concepts, we have to underline the linking word in the following sentences. Let's start with the first one. The old man looks tired. So, in this sentence, looks is a linking word. So, we will underline that. In the same way, you have to do rest of the parts of this exercise by yourself. We'll move to the next topic of this chapter, which is part number H, auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. They are used with the main verb to make the sentences. Some of the auxiliary verbs are is, am, are, do, does, did, can, may, will, shall, etc. Sometimes auxiliary verbs can also be used as main verbs. Auxiliary verbs are of two kinds, primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. Let's see primary auxiliaries first. There are three primary auxiliaries, be, do, and have. Be can have different forms like is, am, are, was, were, been, being. Do have two forms, does or did. And have can be of has, had, or having. Now, uses of primary auxiliary. First is to form tenses. For example, Nisha has done her homework. Madhu was reading a storybook. Next is to form negatives. For example, she does not tell lies. We did not leave the place. Next, we can use them to form questions. For example, have you ever visited the Taj Mahal? Do you know her? Next point is to form passive voice. For example, mango was eaten by Ashu. The thieves have been arrested. The primary auxiliaries such as is, am, are, was, were, does, has, have, had can also be used as main verbs. For example, we have a big building. My uncle has a new car. He was present in the morning. He was present in the meeting. Now, using this concept, we'll do some questions. In this question, we have to circle the auxiliary verb in the following sentences and mention whether they are used as a main verb or auxiliary verb in these sentences. Let's see the first part. Mother is cooking food. Mother is cooking dinner. So, in this sentence, is a verb and here it is used as a main verb. Similarly, you have to do rest of the parts of this question. And with that, we are at the end of this chapter. I hope you understood the concept and enjoyed today's class very much. Practice as much as questions as you can, and if you have any doubt in any topic, you can ask your teacher. We'll meet in the next class with a new chapter. Till then, bye-bye and take care.